what a defensive performance by the Ravens. Unbelievable. Handing the Bills, Josh Allen looking the best I think he has ever looked. And he had a couple of those moments last night with that throw. That was insane. What an alien. But they stopped and stifled this full steaming train on its tracks. It was unbelievable. And it started really from the first snap of the game, okay? They forced these Ravens, the Bills, to punt on their opening drive, and they follow it up with this 87-yard beauty. That's an oxygen tank one. That is, give me the oxygen after this. Nice leisurely stroll here. This is the Ravens' first offensive play. By the way, who called first touchdown of the game? I said it was going to be Derrick Henry. He actually had two. Baltimore rushes for 271 last night on an insane clip, 8 yards per carry. They have now gone over 270 on the ground back-to-back games. Last team to do that, coincidentally, was the Bills 9 seasons ago with my good friend Shady McCoy, who's looking for a wife, and Tyrod Taylor. All of those loaded Ravens run games that we have seen over the years, guys, leading the league in rushing, they have never done what this Ravens squad is doing right now. And I love that it was in front of their home fans, big game, bit wobbly. Thought it would be like a more even match. It wasn't. Lamar and Derrick Henry, that combo is something special when they can make it work and have it all working at the same time. The O-line seems to have gelled to another level. Who's going to stop them? You cannot tell me this is not the best team in the NFL right now. I'm not a power rankings gal. Who are you going to put above them? The Vikings? Maybe. They're deserving, of course. Look at their competition, taking down the Niners, the Packers, taking down juggernauts, looking super well-balanced defense, offense. Sam Darnold. Are you buying the Vikings more than you're buying Lamar Jackson and the John Harbaugh and the Derrick Henry and the amazing defense of the Ravens? Ravens are the best team in football, by far. Even though the record doesn't state it, Vikings fans come for me. Yeah, I don't know. It's taken a couple weeks, I feel like, for this team. I mean, the NFL's kind of in a bit of a crawl, in my opinion. A bit of a crawl. We haven't seen the best football. I don't think out of any team we haven't seen the best football. Yeah, but I mean, maybe the Saints. We'll get to them. But this might be the most dangerous team. Actually, it is. It's the best team. And 0-2 to 2-2, the Ravens are getting the third best odds, as you see, to win the AFC over on FanDuel Sportsbook. Chiefs injuries, they continue to mount. What do we do with Rice? What do we do there? They're, losing 10-zip to the Chargers for most of the day. With the Ravens and what they just did to Buffalo, this might be time to get on board. Nobody has looked better over the last 2 weeks in the AFC. They get the Bengals. It's a tough one. Next week with Joe Burrow at least playing the way he's playing, they're going to put up so many. That is going to be lots of points for those Ravens. Massive games. They're going to, all teams are trying to dig themselves out of some holes, at least on the Bengals side, after they get their first win just yesterday. Okay, there is in the NFC a classic game that we had yesterday, which I loved, and it was Vikings-Packers. And we should just eat this up and love it. Green Bay at Lambeau, Aaron Jones, revenge game. Of course, he finally got his Lambeau leap after the game. We're seeing it here. Go! Do what you're meant to do, 33! Oh, my gosh. They storm all the way back from 28-zip. Vikings hold on to move to undefeated. Aaron Jones, like you just saw, what a moment for him to be back there. It's a beautiful story. For the game itself, it's also a beautiful story. Sam Darnold, incredible. Not perfect, but incredible once again, tossing 3 more touchdowns in the win, making throws into tight windows like that. Oh, my gosh. Aaron Jones, he didn't have the touchdown that I needed and wanted and called for as one of my hunches, but 137 total yards. Defense, there's some issues after building the early lead, but they forced 4 turnovers, came up clutch with some stops at the end. So to go into Lambeau and sort of control the game in that way, it's not fool's gold. And somehow it sort of still feels that way, or it feels like people are still waiting for the other shoe to drop. It's hard to keep this sort of a clip going, but I don't know. All the questions, it's not about Kevin. It's not about the defense. It's about Sam Darnold. And let's dig into what he's doing for a second here. After yesterday, he is still leading the league in touchdown passes, ranks second, averaging almost 9 yards per attempt, second in passer rating as well, behind only Josh Allen. KOC doing a masterful job of calling the offense, putting him in good spots, but Sam has to make those throws. It is on Sam, and he does it, and he's done it against the Packers, such a huge game, against the Texans. What? the Niners, 3 actual Super Bowl contenders in 3 weeks straight. What do we need? That's the question I would ask the world, media at large. What do you need to see out of Sam? Because I don't know. You look at FanDuel Sportsbook. We looked at it, of course, this morning in our meeting. Vikings still getting the 4th best odds to win the NFC despite the hot start. 4th best odds. I'm taking it. Niners, they beat, okay. Still the favorite somehow. They're behind the Eagles, who've now lost 10 of their last 13 going back to last year. A great team, but hard to trust. What's not to believe in the Vikings? They're a great team. I don't think it's a fluke. Hamilton, get in here. We have Luke Kuechly coming on. Maybe we'll ask him. It almost becomes, what is it? Look at these 2 teams, right?
Yeah.
Green Bay operating without Jordan Love, welcoming Jordan Love to what everyone knew was like not the most fun situation. Not exactly like a welcome back party. We got to play at home, but it was a tough situation for him. Watson leaves. All these things are happening. But I think a lot of people, if you were to go and go out to SoFi before a game and ask 100 people who they have more faith in, they would pick, I think 97 people would pick the Packers.
I think you're right. I think it's, there's this trust level in Jordan Love and what we saw from the Packers last year. And I still don't think there's that trust level in Sam Darnold. I think, because of the sample size we got of him earlier in his career with the Jets, he got off to kind of a hot start that one year in Carolina too, and it all kind of fell apart. So I still think there is that waiting for the other shoe to drop. But I do think, I agree with you. I think this is different. I think what we're seeing out of him this year, what we're seeing in the ways Kevin O'Connell's setting him up for success, I think this is sustainable. I don't think it's just going to suddenly fall off.
The question becomes, what do they have to do to change the perception of this team? Do you have any idea if you looked at their schedule, or is there any... doing these 3 straight games is sort of crazy against that top tier competition. But I do like the odds. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
they got London next week against Aaron Rodgers. It's so fun. It's so freaking fun.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of what would be the complexion changer for them. I don't know if there is one, and it is because of Sam Darnold, who, I don't know that there's a sample size big enough that people will trust him.
Yeah, and they have the Lions coming out of that bye week after the London game. Even if they win that, I don't think it's fully there. I think it has to be seeing it late into the season, seeing it carry over before people are going to start to believe. Because I think there's also, there's a Darnold thing. There's also a Vikings thing.
Yes, that's fair.
With
and
all
that's
the
fair.
loaded history there.
But I believe in the Vikings. What a good story. And I've always been a Sam Darnold girl. Came to that Good Morning Football studio on my birthday one time, surprised me, brought me, remember? I've always been a Sam Darnold girl. I've always been a rewrite your narrative girl. But I will say, I not only believe in the Vikings, but I absolutely believe in the Packers. I'm in on the Packers. Yeah. I mean, they've got some things to work out. Okay, their odds in the NFC picture took a bit of a hit. They're down all the way to 7th, plus 1,300. But I'm not concerned because it was very disastrous, especially the start. They got turnovers. This field goals thing, Hamilton's texted me about field goals all day yesterday. We know that there's a problem here. But Jordan Love, he didn't look super comfortable with the knee, especially early. He kind of settled in. You hate losing a divisional game at home, especially when you start that poorly. You sort of put yourself in a massive hole. But the way they rebounded, I thought said a lot. We're not going to overreact because they lost. I think they'll be fine. The biggest concern is, in fact, the kicking game. Missed kicks. Woof. And this is like, is this like embarrassment of riches? This is the one thing to complain about the kicking? No. Because if you are a true Packers fan, or if you've ever been in love with one or had one in your family, like I have 2 nephews, missed kicks cost them big in the biggest spots last year. Playoff game against the Niners. Big is the most glaring example of that. And it's continued this year with this rookie, Braden Narvison. And the rest of the team I sort of feel comfortable with, and they'll push and edge for a Super Bowl. I think so. But Goody. I think you might have to go over to Cheesecake. What is it called? Cheesecake Heaven in Green Bay? Yep. Go over to Cheesecake Heaven. Get yourself a slice of something and really think, do I need to make a move here? And enjoy my key lime pie, but get ahead of it before history repeats itself. So that's what's going on with the old Packers there. And I think that's it. Let's take a short break here. Hold on. I wanted to say, because we had that in there twice. Okay. That's all I wanted to say about the Packers. But let's get to Cardinals Commanders here, because this is a team, we got to get to, I mean, we can't go on without giving Jayden his love, right? Electric, once again. They took it to the Cardinals. This is win number 3 straight for this team. Kevin Durant joins FanDuel, and he says, I'm picking the Commanders every week, and ooh la la, voila, here's what's happening. He's completing a ridiculous 86% of his passes. It can't continue, right? He ran for 47 yards and a score, even after throwing his first career interception. It was like nothing happened. Who cares? Because he bounced back from it like it didn't go on. This offense has punted once in a 3-week stretch. Once in 3 weeks. 3rd in the NFL in scoring. 5th in total yards. Running this offense like a vet. Kudos to Clint Kingsbury, to him. I can't get over the extras, the how poised he is, how put together he is, and he does not force things. I'm waiting. It's almost like I'm waiting for the rookie moment. When is it coming? Who's handing it to him? But we're witnessing something really special right now. He is an absolute problem. And historically speaking, he now has the highest completion percentage through the first 4 weeks of a season in all of NFL history. Not among rookies, among any quarterback that's ever played. That beats Tom Brady's mark from 07. That's right, from their undefeated 07. Clifford, good on you. Salute to Clifford here, Mr. Air Raid from Texas Tech, and a pinata punching bag, his draft house, whatever. Like, this was a question about coming into this year. Is he the guy? What will he look like? What will Cliff do? He has done an incredible job with Jayden. And you know this one meant a little more to him going up against his former team. And if you look at this moment in the locker room after the game, they have so much juice right now. You guys got to go check it out. Here it is, Dan Quinn and company.
A number of game balls that will be issuing out, I'm sure, tomorrow. But there's one motherfucker that ain't leaving this city without one. Cliff!
If you look at the odds, okay, despite what they've shown, the full game lead in the division, they're getting worse odds than the Eagles and Cowboys to win the East. I get that those teams have built more trust, guys, but maybe you want to have some fun here on FanDuel Sportsbook. You can't tell me either one's looked better than the Commanders so far, so I'm liking those odds. Up next,